I noticed that there was a very specific type of loneliness that started to creep up a lot more that was happening that didn't happen, although I was still lonely when I was going out on a lot of dates, specifically because I was spending a lot of time on dating apps. And for a really long time, I was like, where is this loneliness coming from? Like, why? I don't know. I'm kind of like just as lonely as I was before. But the thing that I think happened is that dating apps offer this feeling, this parasympathetic relationship of you with feeling like you're solving a problem of your loneliness.
I feel like when I'm not on the dating apps, I feel lonely. And it feels bad because it feels like I'm not trying to do anything to change that. But being on the dating apps, I'm lonely, but also my self-esteem is just in the garbage because nobody wants me. So I'd rather have better self-esteem and feel lonely than have horrible self-esteem and be lonely.
It's just crazy to me that you jump on an app, you swipe left and right, and then you meet up with someone, and then, you date a few times, you go on a few dates, and then next minute, like, people are out the door because people are fearing commitment. I don't know. I do not see myself going on a dating app anytime soon. Dating in society these days is shit. I'm nearly 28, and I'm like, meet someone organically, because it's a dangerous world out there, and I just wanted to really raise that concern.
Dating apps were supposed to make love more efficient. That was the pitch. More access, more choice, more chances to meet somebody you would never have crossed paths with otherwise. In theory, that sounds great. A bigger push would mean better odds, more opportunities, less loneliness, less randomness. But for a lot of people, the emotional reality has gone in the opposite direction. The apps made things faster, yes. Easier in some ways, sure. But they also made people feel strangely interchangeable. Like everybody is half shopping, half performing, half bored, and never fully present. You can be talking to someone 1 minute, then forgetting the next. And the whole thing moves so casually that you almost feel embarrassed for expecting basic consistency. You're surrounded by possibility and still somehow left with a feeling that nobody is really there.
So a few months ago, I decided to put myself on the clearance aisle of the dating world, which is basically creating a profile on a dating app. And that dating app was Hinge. So there I am, swiping right, left, getting insulted by the most compatible that Hinge gives you every now and then. And then next thing I know, I finally get that notification that says that I matched with somebody. So I start, going back and forth with this girl, the usual small talk. Where are you from? What do you do for work? Blah, blah, blah. And then I end up getting her number. So I think maybe we text for like a day or two. And then I had planned that weekend to go out with 2 of my close friends. So I start telling my boy about it. I'm like, hey, I'm talking to this girl. I'm thinking about, inviting her, whatever. And what do? I show him her profile. And my boy proceeds to give me probably the blankest stare I've ever seen in my life. And he kind of just tells me right there and then that he's also talking to this girl. Which, hey, it is a dating app. That's what it's meant for. But damn, what are the odds that it's practically my best friend talking to the same girl? So I hit up the girl and I tell her, hey, it actually turns out that you're talking to my friend too. So any normal, typical person at that point would probably just, kind of cut the conversation off and probably never talk to me again. But this girl proceeded to add us both to a group chat and quote for quote said, problem solved. I really don't know what it is with women in 2025, but goddamn, y'all are bold and shit. It's kind of funny and I don't mind it. So she ends up actually going on a date with my boy, and I guess the date went okay, but they kind of fizzled off after a while. And then she hits me back up and tells me, hey, I think I made the wrong choice. At that point, it's just cooked. I'm like, hey, there's absolutely no way that I, can date you after you were with my friend.
In my opinion, dating apps don't work because there's a certain mentality that men have on there. Like, if you are not allowed to have any kind of self-respect or morals if you're on there. Like, they kind of see that the fact that you've signed up for there, they don't rate you. They just don't rate you. Like, they just see it like, okay, any woman that's on there, she must be desperate. Like, yeah, this is a quick, easy lick. So for me, that's the issue that I found on there, because some of them would be so brazen with the way that they speak. I'm just thinking like, like in real life, they don't behave like that. But I felt like it's because I was on an app, they saw me as less than because I was on the app. Personally, I think, like, of course, there's so many other things, but for me, that was the recurring theme. It's like, you could meet me, let's say you met me, I don't know, like at some kind of like networking, work event, very corporate, whatever. You would approach me with more respect. But from time they've seen me on an app, forget it. Like, they just talk crazy. They like, I just feel like you're not allowed to have any kind of standards, any kind of morals on there. They kind of have this mentality that anybody that's on there is just desperate and they will just accept any kind of nonsense. So yeah, of course, I'm not saying that it's everybody. I'm pretty sure that there's probably some genuine people on there. I never met those people. And I'm pretty sure on, like, from a man's perspective, there's probably like women on there that are on some BS as well. But so yeah, but for me, that was the main thing that I just said, yeah, you cannot pay me to get back on these apps. And I think the thing that really tipped me, that I said I'm never going back, is when I caught somebody using AI to talk to me. I said, yeah, that's it. I tried. I'm out.
The apps change the pace of connection, but they also change the tone of it. People don't just date on there, they browse, they compare, they stack conversations. They keep one eye on the person in front of them and the other eye on who else might be one swipe away. That changes the energy immediately. When choices become endless, attention becomes shallow. You stop approaching people like full human beings and start reacting to them in categories. Attractive enough, funny enough, tall enough, close enough, interesting enough, worth replying right now, or maybe later, or never. And because everything is built to move quickly, a lot of people start acting like emotional consequences barely exist. A person can get ghosted after days of talking and still feel silly for being bothered, because the culture around dating apps keeps saying, relax, it's not that deep. But it is deep if it keeps happening. When people are repeatedly sampled, briefly enjoyed, and then quickly dropped, it does something to them. And it is not harmless just because it happens through a clean interface.
You open the app, you match, you have the exact same conversation for the 47th time. How's your day going? And somewhere around message 3, you already feel nothing. That's not you being picky. That's your nervous system tapping out. Dating apps were supposed to make this easier, but what they actually did was turn human connection into a part-time job with no benefits up front. We're swiping through people like we're shopping. When everything is an option, nothing feels worth choosing. There's always another option around the corner that could be better. And the worst part, you start to wonder if something is wrong with you. Like maybe you're just too guarded or too damaged or just bad at this, or your profile sucks or your pictures aren't good. So you download a fresh app thinking a fresh start will fix it. But the same patterns follow you there.
Nowadays, putting yourself on a dating app is like putting yourself on the shelf at Walmart. That's how ghetto it is out here. Don't get me wrong, I've heard of success stories on the app, but honestly, those are few and far in between. Your nervous system needs consistency, it needs certainty, and it needs safety. And right now, they're out here acting like they're shopping at a discount store.
I think we all need to just acknowledge that chivalry is dead, and it's because of those damn dating apps. It's giving people like this idea of so many options, especially guys, because guys have this tendency to shop with their eyes, right? But you guys are just giving them so much access through these apps. It's always like there's something better, there's something greener on the other side. And the same guys are complaining that dating is expensive because you're here going on multiple dates. Yeah, it's supposed to go all out. You're courting someone, so you put the effort in it to make a statement that, girl, I want you. You know the girl is a price that you want, okay? And you go all out for that price that you want. But the thing is, you have so many options, so many prizes. There are even guys who have acknowledged that when they go on these dating apps, they just swipe right to every girl. It's like tossing a coin and getting a girl for the week.
Basically, my best friend found out from some guy that there was somebody on the dating apps that were using her pictures. Like, they were basically catfishing, pretending to be her. So she asked me, will you make a fake profile, like, as a guy, and then, like, swipe through and see if you come across my profile? So I'm like, yeah, girl, I got you. So I make a fake profile. Now I'm pretending to be some man, and I'm swiping through all the women to find my friend. Y'all, when I tell you, I was swiping 10 after 10 after 10 after 10, like, gorgeous woman after gorgeous woman after gorgeous woman, all of them with very well thought out profiles, all of them with hobbies and interests, who want long-term committed relationships, all of them who are, like, clearly putting a lot of effort into this. And, like, I couldn't run out of options. It seemed like no matter how many times I swiped, there was always another 10 waiting for me. And it just made me think, like, if this is what it's like for them, I'm seeing why partially they don't take women that they meet on dating apps that seriously. Because, like, if I match with this girl and she's not immediately what I want her to be, she's not vibing with what I'm vibing with, I ask her if I can come over at 10 o'clock at night and she don't want to do it, I'm just going to get back on the apps and find somebody that will. Like, just swipe one more time and you'll find somebody who probably looks even better than her, who's probably even more of a match for me. Like, it just really gives the illusion of, like, endless options. And men already have more eligible dating options than women do. Like, they already have more of an upper hand when it comes to the playing field. They're already winning. Then you get on the apps and you have all of these options at your fingertips.
Do you guys want to hear an update about my matchmaker date from last week? I got ghosted. So again, most amazing first date I've been on in years. I haven't dated. Why am I I'll tell you guys. So we had that amazing date last week. He even said it was an amazing date. Like, we both agreed. He told, like, our matchmaker it was an amazing date. I said the same thing. Well, then, like, as of last Saturday, I haven't heard from him. And I was like, hey, like, if you have, like, a change of heart, like, no big deal, but can you just, like, tell me what changed or something? Nothing. Well, my matchmaker calls me yesterday and she's like, hey, I just want to give you, like, a little bit of feedback from what happened with your date last week. And I was like, I'd love some clarity. She's like, he Googled you. And I was like, yeah, I kind of figured. Because, like, what pops up is, like, my biggest videos. My biggest videos are back when I was, like, in a wildly hurt place. And I was just acting so reckless. And I know what all the misogynistic men are going to write in my comments, like, well, that's why you shouldn't be a drug on the internet. I know. I get it. I know. And, like, again, I'm not blaming anybody but myself. I do have to say, though, like, it kind of did take, like, the wind out of my sails, like, a little bit. Just because it was, like, I'm going to have to live with, like, what I did forever, because I did post it, and I understand, like, the internet is forever. I don't know.
And this is why I've just completely stopped dating at this point. I matched with this one girl on Hinge, right? And we're communicating, conversation's going well. She asked if we want to move off of this app, and I'm like, yeah, sure, give me your number. And then she was like, okay. And then she asked for my Snap after, right? I don't really use Snapchat that much, but I was like, okay, I'll just give it to you anyways. So then I text her because she gave me her number, right? Doesn't respond for like 6 fucking days. And then she adds me on Snap a couple days later without even replying to my message. I add her and I just go, SMH, you add my Snap and not even text me back on iMessage. Yeah, okay. So, what the fuck? This is just another reason on why these dating apps are a goddamn joke. Get my information, get my phone number just to not even text me and then ghost? Yeah, I'm so glad I've been off those dating apps now. The worst part about the whole thing was when we were texting each other on Hinge back and forth, she was literally responding within like 5 minutes. And then the second we move off the app, she just fucking ghosts. And I'm just like, what's the point of these dating apps if they don't even work and these people don't take them serious at all? They just go on there for fun to boost their ego, promote their Instagrams, get more followers. That's all it is.
Dating apps don't just reveal preferences, they train them. Because if you spend enough time in a space where attraction is instant, comparison is constant, and people can be discarded with one finger movement, your mind starts adapting to that rhythm. Patience weakens, curiosity shrinks, ambiguity becomes intolerable. People start expecting chemistry on demand, attraction on sight, banter immediately, and emotional compatibility before anyone has even had the chance to become real. That is a hard standard for actual human connection. Real intimacy is slower than that. Real attraction can be slower than that too. But the apps are not built around slow discovery. They are built around fast sorting. So now people are not only looking for love, they are looking for quick certainty, low friction, and instant emotional payoff. No wonder so many of them are tired. You can't build something grounded in a system that keeps rewarding speed over depth and novelty over patience.
I used to think that instant chemistry meant that I'd met the right person, but I realized it was actually a red flag. Here's what I realized about those intense connections. They're not actually deep. They're just fast. When someone shares or overshares early, it creates this instant emotional awareness. It also makes you think like you have this emotional connection early on that you can relate to, perhaps, that you can share together. It can make you feel like you've known them forever, but what I've realized is it creates like a fake emotional connection. It's not real. Like it makes me feel like it's real. But what I've learned is it's actually not. But what is actually happening is you're getting emotionally invested before they've earned it. And when things start to fall apart, it can be really hard on you because it felt like something, but it actually wasn't built on anything yet.
Dating apps have made people lose the art of the warm approach, and it's a huge reason for this mismatch that we're seeing between men and women. Because let's look at how it works on a dating app, right? You see someone and you immediately have to swipe, yes or no. So sure, it's not officially asking them out at that point, but you still do both have this immediate decision to make. So then in person, people try to act the exact same way and immediately decide on each other without giving each other a chance or feeling each other out. Like you have guys walking up to women who are complete strangers, not asking their name, not saying anything to them, and saying, "Hi, can I take you out?" And then, of course, on the flip side, you have women shutting down these men immediately without learning a thing about them because they went in for the kill immediately. And yes, in general, I do think that women are way too harsh on guys in this regard. But if you're just walking up to a woman and immediately asking her out, you are kind of putting her in a weird position. Because by asking a question and starting off that way, she has to say yes or no at that point, and she knows nothing about you yet.
Today, let's talk about instant chemistry. That lightning bolt of attraction when you meet someone and it's just passionate and it's intense and it feels like, oh my God, this is meant to be. And you have been conditioned your whole life to take that lightning bolt of instant chemistry to mean this person, this is the one, this is a green light, go, go, go. It's very romantic. We've seen it a million times in movies and TV shows, and we read about it in books and love songs and all of the things. But here's the thing about instant chemistry. Instant chemistry is an unreliable indicator of long-term compatibility. And I don't have to tell you this because there are lots of people who you were instantly attracted to, and where are they now?
It is not just disappointment, it is repetition without nourishment. The same introductions, same half jokes, the small dry talk, the same almost connections, the same vanishing acts. After a while, people don't just get frustrated, they get thinned out. Their openness changes. Their trust changes. Even the hopeful one starts approaching connection with one hand on the exit door. And then there is the ego side of it, which people rarely talk about honestly. Because the apps don't only mess with romance, they mess with self-worth. Matches that start feeling like proof. Silence starts feeling like judgment. A reply can lift your mood too much. Being ignored can hit harder than it should. Before long, people are no longer just looking for someone. They are also quietly checking whether they still rank well in the market.
Can someone tell me why people are even on dating apps if they have no intention of ever responding to a message with more than 2 words? Why? I mean, why are you even there? I cannot tell you how many people I have come in contact with that, I don't know, they don't know how to communicate, they're not willing to, I don't know, I guess they're just browsing or something, but you get 1-2 word answers. They don't ask a single question. And it's always the one in their profile that says that they want a deep conversation. How do you get to a deep conversation when you don't ask any freaking questions and you don't respond with more than 2 words? You want someone else to do the whole conversation for you? That's deep. I don't get it.
Okay, I think I'm realizing what I absolutely hate about modern dating, especially dating from like dating apps. Obviously, you're not meeting in person, so the only thing that you have to go off of is their looks and like the first thing or two that they say to you. And I feel like that has caused so much pressure to like come up with some one-liner and be snarky and funny and like mysterious. And no one can be that all the time. And honestly, sometimes that feels really inauthentic. If you have to like continuously use a one-liner to keep the conversation going, I have a really hard time continuing to have an organic conversation because it just doesn't feel authentic. It feels like you're trying too hard. The other day I had this guy who I matched with and he sent me this message and he was like, hi, like, you know, because it was on Bumble, so I had to respond first. And he was like, hi, oh my gosh, like, I'm so excited that we matched. You're so beautiful. And he was like, I found you on Instagram and I learned a lot about you and I think you have such a beautiful soul and I would love to take you out to dinner. Compare that to a guy who I matched with who had a really funny one-liner that like kind of reeled me in. But then when I was trying to create like an authentic conversation with him, he just like kept saying these like snarky one-liner things, which I think is fun. Like I love to flirt, but I'm trying to get to know you and it's kind of exhausting to like have to come up with like one-liners and jokes after jokes. So like just be yourself.
All right. I have made the executive decision about deleting all the apps. Oh, they're just not worth my time. And I'm really not seeing a lot of activity on them. Like it could be that I'm not swiping a lot. Like I'm trying to, but it's just every time I swipe, I get really like discouraged with what's available. So, yeah, I think I am just going to continue with the meeting someone in the real life, in the wild. I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know. I find that there is just a lot of flaky guys, and it could be women, but I'm doing it from my point of view. And the guys seem so flaky. Their profiles are horrific these days. They are not putting any effort into them. Their photos, terrible. It's all group photos, fish photos, glasses, only headshots. The list can go on. And so I just find that, and you know what's so funny is you will match and then he will just never message. I might like him first and he likes me afterwards and then just never contacts me. I'll do another video about this whole, like, I've been talking to Talia about it and other friends about like the menu that you get these days. You just get a menu of people, but I'll do another video about that. And yeah, so I've decided to go off the apps. It's just wasting my time. And like I just realized Bridgerton has just started again. So obviously I need to like spend a lot of time binge watching that. But I'm not watching TV as much and I'm not reading. And there's like a whole bunch of things I'm not doing because I have been spending time scrolling or messaging guys. And I haven't put myself first. So that's going to stop. I'm going to start putting myself first.
Dating apps, guys. I remember spending hours, even days, swiping, matching, being ignored. Every day I'd feel more worthless than the day before. And that's when I decided I had to do something, and I did, and it changed everything. That's when I decided no more dating apps, no more dating. Focus all that time and energy I was putting into that into myself, investing into myself, healing, working on my issues, and just, being present in my own life. I remember how much time I used to spend on the apps, they just used to drain so much time from me. And then you'd be mentally and physically exhausted. And just remember, you take every ignore or unmatch personally. You know, you start questioning your appearance, your personality and your values. You get to a point where, you know, you be comparing yourself to others all the time. And I absolutely hate that. And yeah, the anxiety and the dread, and yeah, just for that tiny dopamine hit that you get from maybe a match and a possible spark of a conversation. I just couldn't do it again, guys. And I think if you're in a similar scenario to what I was and struggling on the apps and feeling worthless every day from using them, my advice is just to take a break. I guarantee within a couple of weeks, you'll see so much difference in yourself. You know, yeah, I'm just feeling more me than ever, and I'm happy. I feel good about myself. Confidence is improving. You know, and then you've got all this free time that you're working on yourself, and you're finding yourself, and you start liking your own company, start falling in love with you again. And I've got to the point now where I can't imagine ever having to go back on the apps again. I think that, I know it's hard to find people organically, but I think I would rather be single and happy than constantly trying to manufacture something that isn't there. Because I kind of believe now the apps are not created to find love, but actually to keep you searching. Because essentially, if you find love, you're no longer their customer, are you? You're no longer paying for a service or... Yeah, so take it from me. Have a break. If you're struggling on the apps, you will feel so much better about yourself and you won't regret it.
A lot of things when it came to dating made sense to me when I understood this. The heart heals faster than the ego. I understood that when I was in a point in my life where there was a guy that I wanted so bad. Like, I was so in love with this person at that time. And I was thinking, years have gone by. Like, why am I still on this guy? Like, why do I still like this guy? And then I realized that my heart had healed, but my ego didn't. The thought of this guy not wanting me back the same way, or not showing me he wanted me the same way, was killing my ego. Then I realized that whole time I was just chasing his validation, not actually his love. A lot of us sometimes think that we're chasing love. We want this person to love us because we love them so much, but really we're just desiring them to fix our broken ego. Because in reality, why would we want somebody that treats us so bad? Why would we want to be with somebody who doesn't even give us the time of day? So if you're still obsessed with that person from 2019, 2018, goodness, even 2016, maybe you haven't healed your ego.
Dating apps are essentially, just like every other platform, they're incentivized to keep you on there, right? So if I have a dating app and the idea is to get people to go on dates and meet their match or whatever, that's going to be inefficient towards my business model, meaning you're going to lose your users faster than you gain them, which isn't going to be good, right? As a business, you need to scale your user base. So what dating apps do is essentially they will make bot profiles, and this will be like getting people matches with people that they would never get a match with. So it just inflates the idea of the perception of what is in someone's league, right? So you could get someone that is not the greatest looking person, whether it's male or female, and all it takes is like one or two like tens that just match with them, and then they message them and they never hear back. But that doesn't matter because their ego's already inflated. Like they're thinking like, oh, I have a chance to get a girl that looks like that, so I'm just gonna keep swiping until I do. This just keeps people very quickly in this constant loop of like swiping, right? And just the more and more they swipe, the more and more their expectations rise, right? Because then they get to the point where they're only swiping on people that are out of their league, and then they're trapped there forever. And that sounds extreme, but most dating apps are like this, and this is why you're seeing very low success rates. And I'm not saying that you can't meet someone on a dating app, you definitely can. But for me personally, it's just the time that you spend on those is just ridiculous. And the people that you meet on them are probably not the people that you would even want to meet.
That's I believe, is the ugliest truth about dating apps. They promised connection, but often delivered exposure without security. You are visible, but not held. Desired, but not chosen. Matched, but not necessarily met. And for some people, that cycle repeats so often that they start confusing unpredictability with romance and scarcity with value. That is not a good place to build love from. The apps are not evil by themselves. People do meet through them. Some good relationships come out of them. That part is very real. But the system still changes people while they are using it. It changes how they judge, how they wait, how they trust, how quickly they detach, how easily they move on before anything has even had a chance to deepen. That should be talked about more honestly than it usually is. Do you think dating apps made love easier to find or just made people easier to replace? Say what you really think in the comments and stay with the ugly truth for more conversations about the modern systems shaping how people feel, connect, and disappear.